Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. You can see standing right there in front of you is a nice, very small figure of one of the earliest birds known to man, and it is the Archaeopteryx. This Archaeopteryx is brought to us by Favorite Company, and this is the same company that I had reviewed the Spinosaurus of a little while ago. It was a swimming Spinosaurus, and I was a very big fan of that Spinosaurus. I definitely liked it a lot. And there was also this Archaeopteryx that was released right around the same time as the Spinosaurus was, and once the prices got a little cheaper for this guy, I was definitely in, as I was quite interested in it the entire time. I really wanted to get a hold of one, but I had to wait for the prices to drop, and now you can get these guys for about like $8 or $9, somewhere in that general area, which is a very nice price because it's fairly cheap and it's a beautiful looking Archaeopteryx. So let's get a closer look at it. So starting up here at the head sculpt, you can see that it looks fantastic. It really does. I love that beautiful red stripe up there on the top of the head because it just really makes the whole head pop to you and makes it just look really nice. You can see the eye is painted very nicely. There's no sloppiness at all. Overall, it looks great. The entire front of the head here and the mouth area looks beautiful as well. You can see the nostrils are sculpted there, and the teeth are sculpted very nicely. The inside of the mouth is a beautiful pinkish coloration, probably like it would look in real life, and the entire head sculpt is really beautiful. It really looks nice. I like the coloration, and just here in the front of the head you can see there are numerous different colorations that have been put into this area, and it just looks beautiful. As we run down the neck, you can see some very nice featheration has been sculpted, and the color change looks very nice. It goes from this lighter blue or lighter grayish type of a color into this darker blue up here on the top of the neck. And then if we look at it from the upper part, you can see that the featheration is sculpted very nicely as you get down into the shoulder area, and we spread out into the wings, and the overall sculpting of the wings just looks fantastic. These feathers look beautiful, and the entire paint applied just makes it look so striking and just absolutely majestic. This is such a great interpretation of the Archaeopteryx. Favorite Company has done a fantastic job on this, and even the underside just looks great. Look at that. So beautiful. The sculpting of the wings and the feathers is just incredible on this figure, and you can see that the hands are sculpted very nicely and painted a very realistic coloration. The nails have a gloss on them to bring them to life, and they look very good as well. There's no sloppiness or anything like that, and it definitely looks beautiful on this figure. And if we go back here to the tail feathers, look at those tail feathers. That's just unbelievable. So stinking nice. The paint on this, just look at this whole upper view of this. This just looks incredible. Absolutely fantastic interpretation of Archaeopteryx. And the minute little details put into these feathers just looks incredible in my opinion. Especially here in the tail. Look at those tail feathers. As I turn them, you could just see so much detail put into those feathers. And it really pays off in this figure because it just makes it look so beautiful. Even the underside looks very nice. Again, you can see a little bit of an inconsistency as far as the paint goes with the underside of the feathers. As you can see, it's very small dots of black on this side, and it's much stronger and thicker on this side, but I don't think that takes away from the figure or anything like that. And again, the legs on the underside look beautiful as well. You can see that the toe is actually lifted up here, and it's lifted the same way, similar on both feet. The feet are sculpted very nicely. Again, the nails painted very nicely, and that beautiful, potentially realistic coloration that looks very bird-like for the coloration of the feet, and the hands just looks great. It is held on by this little tube type thing here. It's just a little peg, a very clear peg, and it's basically just hovering over onto this rock here that the Archaeopteryx seems to be just jumping over, but it looks very nice. And overall, the entire appearance of this Archaeopteryx is so stunning and so striking. It's just beautiful. So as far as the sculpt and paint goes, I think it's applied beautifully. Everything has been sculpted to perfection in my opinion, and overall the Archaeopteryx looks fantastic. The only downside I will say is that this base, with it being so small, doesn't balance very well, and you can see as I move it, it's not very solid with the way it stands. It's kind of wobbly, and at certain points it really does not want to stand at all. I'm actually quite impressed that it's staying up right now because I was trying to turn it before to face this way and it was not working very well. It kept falling, So aside from the base being a little bit wobbly and not balancing out perfectly, I think this is an incredibly nice Archaeopteryx. For a size, from the tail to the head, you're looking at about almost 5 inches or about 12 centimeters. As I mentioned, it's pretty small, but it's Archaeopteryx. It's probably not going to be too huge. And the wingspan is about 5 inches or almost about 12.5 centimeters. And for a height to the top of the head, you are looking at about a little bit under 2.5, in between 2.5 or 2.25 and 2.5 inches, somewhere in that area, or about 6 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, who does not even see the Archaeopteryx under him. They are obviously not the scale as Archaeopteryx would be, nowhere near as big as it's appearing next to this Papo Rex, but it should give you a pretty good idea of the size of the Archaeopteryx. Like I said, it's pretty small, but it's very, very nice and highly detailed and beautifully painted for the size of the figure. So this is probably my favorite Archaeopteryx that I own, honestly. I think it's better than the Papo one. You know, the Papo one was really, really nice. It really definitely is. But I think the coloration of the feathers and everything on this one just looks so much more striking and so much better than the Papo Archaeopteryx. But that might just be my opinion, who knows. It's also very nice because of the fact that it is pretty small. It should have no problem fitting in your collection at all. And it has such a beautiful, striking appearance to it. And I really love the pose. I love the fact that it's in a running pose, like it's about to take off and try to fly or something. Or maybe just glide. I'm not really sure what its intentions are at this point. But it really just takes kind of a scene from prehistory and just brings it straight to life for you in beautiful and stunning fashion. And this Archaeopteryx looks fantastic. I think the paint is just really, really nicely done. I love that red crest of feathers on the top of the head. It really gives it that striking look that it needs. And the coloration of the feathers overall on the wings are a very potentially realistic coloration, but at the same time just really striking. And I definitely really like this figure. Favorite Company is a very underrated company in my opinion as far as these figures go. You don't see too many people reviewing them or talking about them, and it's a shame because they make such fantastic figures. One downside to a lot of their figures is some tend to be a lot more expensive than others, so it's a little harder to get a hold of them. So the lack of popularity of the Favorite Company figures may have something to do with the company itself, as they don't release too many fairly decent priced figures. But these ones, this one and the Spinosaurus, are definitely very nicely priced and beautifully priced for anybody interested, as they are really nicely, highly detailed figures, and they're not super huge, which allows you to place them in your collection a lot easier if you are like me and have just a ton of other figures. It definitely is not a bad thing to get some smaller figures once in a while. Again, they're not too small where they're like to the point of not even buying them small, but I think they're very beautifully sized, pretty much perfect as far as this Archaeopteryx goes. So I will throw a link in the description to where you can purchase one on eBay, as that's pretty much the only place that I know you can get them for this price. He's probably going to be about $9 or $10, somewhere in that area, maybe $8, something like that. So go ahead, click the link, go buy one if you would like, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.